All right. Hopefully we won't have any other computer issues. But welcome everyone to this WISPALS WMS session this morning. As I mentioned previously, our main focus for today will be on discovery setup, but we can also touch base on any other WMS setup questions, issues, or ideas that folks want to share. Preparing for this meeting today, I was thinking the most impactful thing would be if you all would share the most significant setting changes that you've made to your discovery setup to that helps with the way your users find information. So I'm hoping that you all will be willing to share today. But to start us off, I have gone through each of your service configs and I have one up on the screen right now. And I went through all of those because that's where the majority of your discovery settings are held. And I thought I would highlight some of the areas where I see some differences and where we can kind of talk through the options and what those settings actually do. And then we can open it up to share your configurations if that sounds good. I'm using Western as an example. I went through everything alphabetically, and Western was my last one, so I just left it up. But in service config under WorldCat Discovery and WorldCat Local is where the majority of the settings are that control how your discovery works and looks. And so, like I mentioned before, the majority of you have your settings set up the same. Of course, there are going to be differences because of not all of your locations are the same and so forth. But there are some slight differences that I just wanted to highlight. Some of you might not have, maybe it's been a while since you've gone in. You might have set up Discovery months ago when we were working with Beth. So this might just be a refresher and a reminder of where these settings are at. But under search settings, under WorldCat Discovery and WorldCat Local, there, of course, are a lot of differences among the WISPALS libraries, so I just wanted to highlight and remind those. Under specifically the search filter settings, I think there may be a couple libraries that are the same, but the majority of you have different settings set for your filters. But just as a reminder, this is where you can come in and you can change your filter. You can change the how it appears, the order. So it's under search filter settings. And these can be, this is where you select your filters, whether they show, whether content can be expanded or not, and then what order they're in. So that's all under search filter settings. So you can see here with Western, they have selected theirs. And so forth. So that's one area I just wanted to highlight as a reminder. You can always rearrange these. You can select which ones are appearing during searches in Discovery. The other thing in this section is the advanced search settings. This area, let's hop in. I've also got a couple of discoveries up. So advanced search settings, these here. If you scroll down to your indexes here, this is where you select your indexes. You can also select your default index for search boxes, as well as your recommended indexes. So what these are controlling is if you go into your search settings, this first section here shows which options are here. If you were to click another one, to add another search index, Western has keyword as the default. And then if you were to select here, the recommended ones are at the top that Western has selected, which are these right here.
Melody, I have a question about this if we have time.
Please.
Um, I know I've asked questions and Beth has kind of got back to me, but I'm not quite sure. Our librarians are a little upset that we can't do an abstract search in our advanced search when we're just searching academic search, complete, premier, whatever it is that we have. I know these are dependent upon which databases you're searching, but since we can do an abstract search when we just go into academic search premier, why can't we choose that? And I saw that Kim actually had abstract as a choice for some set of databases that she had. So I guess I'm still confused why we can't do that. And maybe this is for later, but
Well, let's just jump in right there. So the down here is where all the selected databases are at. And that actually is controlled not here in the search settings. It's down in the meta search content and default databases and license content. So this is where you can select which databases you have and will appear for your search default.
yeah, we just have academic search complete picked, and I guess, OCLC WorldCat are the two that are our default databases. And then we created collections for the other, by subject heading.
Mm-hmm. So do those contain abstracts?
Academic Search Premier does.
And you're not getting abstract as an option?
Nope.
Let me, unfortunately, I can't be logged into two different service configurations in the same browser. So let me bring up a completely different browser so I can look at um, gateways. So just 1 second.
Thank you, everybody, for letting Gateway kind of take some time here.
Just grab this. I'm pulling it up on a different browser and then I'll bring it over real quick.
We can chat for a minute too while Melody is doing
Yes,
that.
please do.
You're demoing Westerns. We opted in our default databases to choose everything. I know Beth in her demo said like we recommend a few, 8 to 10. And when I met with her one-on-one, I said, is there any reason now why that has to be the case, or can we choose everything? And she said, go for it. But I'm curious for those that have maybe, like Gateway said, I'm just gonna have academic search and WorldCat. How's that going? I have mixed feelings about, like, I wanted everything to surface and I didn't want students to have to know that they had to specify a different group in order to have some of those more like subject specific databases show up. But I'm curious if others have kind of tweaked that area of their config.
I think I want to. I think that I was too restrictive and I really want to add them. And so now I'm trying to remember how you add them back.
So, Catherine, before I jump back into Gateway, this is where you add them back in. So it's under meta search content, default databases, and license. You can select all of them here.
All right, well, I'm at meta search, configure databases to search.
Yep.
And so I just need to add them in. Is that it?
Yep.
And are they the same names as we have in the content, meta content?
I guess I'm not sure what you're asking.
I mean, let's say it's called Ovid Nursing. Do I type in Ovid Nursing, or do I need to use the exact name that's listed in
I
metadata?
think you only have the option to choose the ones that you've already added in your collection manager. So you can't just necessarily like search anything. So if it's in your collection manager, I think you can pull it up and checkbox here.
All right, so I did bring Gateway up, separate browser. So let's look. Rachel, you were asking about, let's look at your advanced search. And you don't have an option to include abstract. And this is what you're asking about, right?
Yes.
Rachel? Okay. Because, for example, when we looked at Western, they have it. I'm just curious. I also have Blackhawk pulled up. And they too have it. Okay.
It must be something that I haven't set correctly.
I think it might be under meta search content. So to be honest, I mean, I'll be honest, with a lot of this stuff, I've just been playing around and adding things and removing things and seeing what the results are. It does look like you have a lot. Okay, so for here, academic search complete in WorldCat. Sorry, I'm just poking around. If anyone has any thoughts.
So if I add configure databases to search, it says proxy base URL and type name to limit. Is the proxy base already set with the under the WMS institution, or do I need to put it in each time?
Oh, no, Catherine, all you should have to do is go to the go underneath and actually select them. If you type it in, you're just limiting this display, I believe.
Okay, because I'm seeing configure databases to search and said selected databases, SCLC licensed databases, central index databases, and remote databases. My assumption is that EBSCO would be remote databases, but is that incorrect?
No, EBSCO should be considered remote.
Yes, that's what my question was. EBSCO would be considered remote, right?
Yes.
Maybe I'm mishearing. I think the remote databases are the ones that can't get pulled in to Discovery, and those are the ones that you have to log in separately to, right? So like most of the
Correct.
EBSCO ones are, yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry, was that not what you were asking, Catherine?
No, and I'm sorry, I got my COVID vaccine yesterday, and I'm not on all cylinders, but I'm thinking that maybe I did this wrong before because I wanted to be able to, I wanted just to, and again, I'm sorry, but I enabled a lot of things in the content manager, a lot of EBSCO databases and Gale and Ovid and things like that. So I enabled them in WorldShare under metadata content. So my question is now, do I still need to add them in at this point, or are they automatically being searched as the big, are they automatically being searched in our discovery, or do I have to go into the default databases and licensed to add them all here as well? Or is this just so that in advanced search, you can say, I only want to search Sentinel or I only want to search Alvid?
I think what you're asking is if you've selected that, where did you say you selected them first? I
I
apologize.
selected them first in WMS under Content Manager and Collection Manager, my selected collections.
Oh, yes, yes.
So then do I need to also select them here as well, or are they automatically searched because I put them in Content Manager?
So in your they're automatically searched, but for your advanced search, you also have to select them in config. Unless it has anyone, am I saying that wrong? Has anyone
I think
found that to not
that's
be true?
correct. On the flip side of this, yeah, we've actually consciously chosen to not select anything because we have there's a filter that we have. It's like juvenile, non-juvenile, and that's been pretty useful for our patrons, just specifically here. So yeah, we've kind of been holding off on adding that because it like for some reason it just gets rid of the filter because of what the other databases offer. Um, I'm like, we haven't had any complaints about not being able to use the like advanced search database filtering. But we're kind of still like, figuring out if this is good or bad or if we should keep it or yeah.
Well, I had noticed yesterday I was helping a student do a cybersecurity search, and we did it first in basic, in simple search. Then we went into advanced search, and we actually got less results than we had doing the simple search. And I thought that was kind of weird. And maybe it's because when we went to advanced search, it wasn't picking up those additional databases.
Oh, okay. So it's like not,
I
okay,
mean, I'm
that's
wondering if
interesting.
it's not searching them at all. But maybe Melody can answer that question. But I certainly, don't want people to lose out on some of our paid databases because they tried to use advanced search.
So I believe with the advanced search in Discovery, the purpose of that is then you can deselect or specifically select those databases to search, but your overall search should include everything that has been selected in Collection Manager. But
Okay.
what I would do, just because some of the search settings, I'll be honest, in Discovery have baffled me a little bit and I have to play around a lot with it. What I would do is I would find a title that I know exists in a database, do an advanced search on that title, and it makes sure that it's do one that's not in a database that you've selected to see whether or not it appears. And then you can confirm that yes, it's searching everything. However, the indexes, as in going back to Gateway and Rachel's question, I think are controlled by the databases that you have selected. So Rachel, I'm wondering for you if you should maybe select them all, see what happens, and then you can always change it back just to see if that abstract does appear. That's the only reason I can think why you don't have Gateway doesn't have abstract showing as an option, where almost everyone else that I've played around with does have that as an option.
Okay. For right now, we're just telling people to go straight into the database
Into the
as
search,
opposed to
yeah.
using the advanced search because, they're so used to using an abstract search for their topic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
The other thing I'm wondering, well, actually, never mind. I feel like I'll confuse things. So let's jump back. So looking back at the advanced search, as I mentioned before, so the take a look at your databases, play around with those, do some searches. You can always change the settings back. But I think that'll be your best bet for playing around to see what indexes you can use and how the system searches within advanced search. I also wanted to just talk quickly about some of the under item detail settings, because there are two settings. I think one you know about, but one I wanted to review because I think it's confusing or maybe misleading. One is reorder data fields. This is just a reminder that you can select specific bibliographic data, so local bibliographic data for your item display. So for each of these sections under reorder data fields, you can choose to pull some local bib data in your item display. So for like notes, subject, let me scroll down here. You have the option to select or unselect some of the local bib data. here for Western, you can see that they have selected all of the options, but there might be, I think there are a couple libraries that maybe they haven't selected some specific, I don't know if it was the note field, I can't remember, for various reasons. But I just wanted to remind you that you can come in here and select or unselect local bib data here. But the other area that I wanted to quickly talk about, because I've talked to some folks and I think there's confusion around what it actually does and means. And this is the browse option under item detail settings, and it's display bibliographic relationships. So what does this actually mean? This section, if turned on, so Western has it off, but if turned on, this shows a relationship between bibliographic records by placing, so what it's looking for is an OCLC control number in, let me see, I think it's the mark 773, 800, 810, 811, or 830 fields. So a possible relationship would be, for example, if an item is a part of another item, meaning like if you have a volume that is also cataloged as a full set and the OCLC number of that full set is also somewhere in one of those 773 or 800 fields, and you have this turned on, it'll show a relationship. It'll show that this item is also available in this other bib record. Or another option is if it is contained somewhere else, like a collection of something, like you have a full skeleton, perhaps, but all the bones are cataloged individually and can be checked out individually or something like that. They're cataloged separately. That would show a relationship between those bibliographic records. So that's what that means. I think for most of you, you don't have bibliographic records set up that way. But if you do or you want to, for any reason, you could add those into, I'm gonna throw in the chat more information on how those, I just kind of spewed out those mark fields, but I just want to make sure that just in case anybody wants. There's a link to the OCLC support page on this, and the browse options is at the bottom, and it'll tell you which mark records you can put it in. Just on the off chance that you do have some items or some bib records that you do want to create a relationship with. So that's what that specific setting means. Again, I don't think a lot of you have too many bib records that have relationships like that.
So, like for instance, we have a volume of Jane Austen that has 7 books in one. So if you do a keyword search for Pride and Prejudice, it comes up. I don't know if it comes up as a title search because I don't remember whether the original OCLC record is got the 50500 or not. It may just be a 5050. But would this be something that would be useful if you were just trying to find Pride and Prejudice out of the main book?
Is it cataloged as a separate bib?
No, it's just one
Okay,
bib.
then no.
Okay.
No, it's only if you have, so if you were, that's a good example, actually. You have the 7 books as a complete set that can be checked out as a complete set, but maybe you also have it cataloged as individual items. So those would be separate bib records. That would be a relationship that you could create. So anyways, I wanted to also highlight user interface options. This is a pretty obvious one where we see lots of differences because this is colors, logos, everything that makes Discovery unique to you. But I wanted to highlight a couple of areas just as reminders as to where they're located, and that is custom links. So custom links are the links we see down at the footer down here. I've got a couple examples. So, oops, apologies. So we see Blackhawk has just a couple more resources, but those are all controlled here under custom links. You can see that Western does have a chat widget. So that's turned on. They have a link there and you can see their chat widget right here. And when you hover over it, it says chat with a librarian. And then every other link before that is listed below over here. So you can see A to Z databases and so forth. So just a reminder that that's where you can remove or add links for your footer. Under display settings, I also wanted to highlight, it was another reason I wanted to use Westerns because under display, there is an option to use a custom notification, and Western is using a notification. And so you can see here they have it turned on. They have a note here with a link, and then the link down here. It's right here. So when you look at Westerns on their homepage, they have this custom notification up here. It's welcome to our new library search. Here's a link to their LibGuides and so forth. I have had folks ask if you can have more than one message. You can have more than one message, but you can only have one link. So back in service config here, you could, you're limited to 500 characters, but you could say something like, welcome to our new library search, have the link there. And below it, you could say new library hours starting January 1st or whatever, and list some library hours there. But for instance, Blackhawk is not currently using any custom notifications, so there's nothing there. Is anyone else using a custom notification? I can't remember.
I think we forgot they were there.
We are.
A good place to put in like emergency hours. I mean, sometimes we'll do that with on the LibGuide, but I was just wondering if, like last night when the power, if someone lost their power, but WMS might still be on because it's maybe a national server, whether they put things like, power out, library closed or something like that.
Yeah, you could do that. Absolutely. If your power is out locally, WMS is still going to be available because it's hosted in the cloud. So you could put a message on there that just says, power outage currently at the library closed or whatever. Amy, you said that you are currently using it at Waukesha?
Yes, we are. We added that maybe a week or two ago.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. I just had a couple other ones that I wanted to just quickly remind folks. This one it's pretty obviously that it's going to be very different among libraries, but oops, did I click on yeah. I just wanted to highlight really quickly this down here, this table under OPAC statuses, locations, and circulation policies. So this is obviously going to be very different for every library, but I just wanted to highlight it as a reminder of where this is located and how this is controlled. So this is where you control what statuses are considered available or unavailable. And then I also wanted to remind folks, because I had a question recently about what is level 4, what does level 1 mean? Level 1 would be your local library. So in this instance, this is Western Library. Level 4 is considered WorldCat as a whole. So that's the differences there. But again, this is just really a reminder of where you control whether something's available or checked out, that type of thing. And then just also as another reminder, you do have to go in and select them all for the different types of materials. So articles, serials, monographs, they're all separate. And then let's see here. I already went over the meta search content. Go ahead.
Yesterday I was doing a demo and I was saying, yes, we own Dune as both a paper book and an audio book. And, or no, it was actually a book I knew that I had checked out myself. So it was Outlive. But when we looked it up in when we looked it up, because I knew we had the paper copy and we also had a Libby copy, it didn't even mention that the Libby copy was available at all. I mean, not even for a hold. So is this where we would change that? Because the Libby copy didn't even show up.
It didn't show up in your search.
Yeah,
So there could be potentially two issues there. One, we still have a couple of Libby items that aren't appearing because they're not available in the OCLC collection yet. So I don't know if it's one of those. The other thing is there is a setting, oh boy, and I might have to think about this if anybody remembers where it's at. That when you do searches, it'll show all relevant like ebook, audiobook, print in one. Is it display settings? Does anyone know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think it's somewhere where you say you default that on, but the
Yes.
patron on their side can either turn it on or turn it off. And I think that's in display settings somewhere.
I'm just double checking if I missed it. No header footing settings.
I might be misunderstanding, but is it the group editions and formats choice, Melody? Or that's something different?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
That's
No,
in
I
search
think it's the
settings.
grouping.
Yeah, that's in search settings,
set.
that first tab.
Thank you.
But I'm not positive that that's what we're talking about, but I think that's.
Yes, no, this is what we're
Okay.
talking about, group editions and formats. So Catherine, check your settings for here.
you have group editions and formats selected.
For all of them, for both
Um,
I'm sorry, for your specific library, Fox Valley.
well, I'm let's see, I'm under search settings. I see search settings, default grouping, group editions and formats. Define not sure where else it would be put unless it was search expansion settings. Or search settings.
I'd have to look, but I would also first check that Libby title. And I would check in your collection manager and just make sure that title is included first.
I thought you selected all the Libby books for us.
I do, but as I mentioned before, there's an issue where not all titles are available in that collection. And I'm working with Overdrive and OCLC still to get those titles in there. I want to say there's like 150 maybe titles that are still not available.
I put the name of it in and it is not listed here.
Okay, then that's the problem. It's one of those titles. I see Ellen put in the chat she wanted to review the ILL request form settings, so we can do that as well.
So I take it back. I was under selected collections. I switched it to title and it was listed as an Overdrive book. So that must not have been it. So, okay, I'll figure it out.
Ellen, are you?
Yeah, so my question is really just like, I know you can set in what statuses and item types your ILL form like appears as an option, like an access option. And I'm pretty sure I've turned mine off for some situations where it should show up and I'm like, how do I go back and do that? But I can mess around and find it too.
Oh, that is in, hold on a second. I know right where that's at. And I'm probably going to go to the wrong spot. Is it here? No. Does anyone remember where that's at? So you do have all ILS locations selected. Oh wait, no, that's just for the circ integration. Maybe it is under the form itself. I might have to look that one up. I don't want to waste folks' time. Unless does anyone know where that's selected?
Melody,
Yeah.
I went back in, and the thing is, I bought it both as an ebook and as an audiobook. And I have the audiobook checked out. So the ebook was selected, but I don't see the in content collection manager, but I don't see the audiobook. Unless it can't differentiate them, I'm not sure.
There are two separate collections for, are you talking about Overdrive?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
there are two,
both as an
there
ebook-
audiobooks. I'm sorry, what?
I bought it as both an ebook and an audiobook.
And in Collection Manager, there are two separate collections. Ebooks are separate and audiobooks are separate. Are they is that title listed in the audiobook collection?
I just clicked on title and then the name of the book. Is there another way you want me to search?
Can you just throw the title in the chat and I can look it up later?
Sure.
At Gateway, we did go through our list of titles that Overdrive says that we have, and all the titles that WorldShare says that we have, and I've been working with Melody on this, but we came up with about 400 titles that are still not in collection manager. So
We've added since then, Rachel, we have added some,
okay,
but
good.
there's still several. I want to say like 150 or 200 that aren't in there yet.
Okay. It seems to be mostly the test prep books and nonfiction. Most of the fiction stuff seems to have been migrated or uploaded. Fine.
I'm just looking some stuff up. So if anyone has things they want to share or questions, please feel free to do so. Or like you can also share your screen if you'd like. I'm just looking up a couple of things that were mentioned in the chat.
I have kind of a random question. I'm not sure it's, well, the question is it possible for us to filter within OCLC to see what like a specific technical college has in their collection?
Oh,
Is that
so in
possible?
not in NTCs, but you're talking about a separate college?
Right.
I think wait, are you asking in Discovery or are you asking in like
In
service config?
WMS.
Okay, I'm not sure if there's a way to do that in
And this is
WMS.
totally, yeah, I didn't really, this was like a curiosity thing more so for like, I don't know, collection development or seeing if another school has like, you know,
Has
basically
an
just
item.
stalking other, yeah, other schools and
So
what they have.
one of the I don't think there's a way to do that. You can look up a specific title and see who it's held by. So let me 1 second, sorry. I'm getting a lot of error messages because I'm logged into too many things at once. And WMS is really, really strict about that. It wants me to close out completely. So let me just grab a link real quick.
I put a note in the chat box. I think you can search, like I go to like the NWTC search to see what they have sometimes. Just go directly to the college library website or go into
Okay.
WorldCat and search. You can search by college code.
But what
Oh,
you're
okay. That is a good idea.
like, so a couple things. Yes, you can go into another discovery, but you're asking if you can search in like metadata, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Record manager.
So yeah. So the only so you can select a different scope um and do my group holdings, but that's only if you've selected the holdings of you've selected other libraries as a group, I believe, and that I don't know what for Western, have you set that up, Ellen?
Yeah, I did. So there's like it's like our lacrosse area libraries and then most of the WTCS folks too, but it's not perfect to WISPALS, but it's pretty close.
Sure. No, that's
Okay.
perfect. So I mean, this is a really random search. I just did dogs and selected group settings. So you can see the different libraries and it'll show you which libraries they are.
Okay.
And this is everything in WorldCat. But because we're searching my group holdings, it will include the ones that you've selected before. However, I did want to mention we talked about this previously during the setup because this was something that a lot of libraries used to do in Sierra. Since you
Right.
could view everyone's bibs, you could see who what folks have added. You could even create a list on all of the new items that have been added in the system. So I'm actually starting this on October 1st because I wanted to wait till folks had been in the system for several months. I'm going to be creating a WISPALS quarterly new titles list. And I'm going to, so there is in, I think is it in analytics? Or is it circulation? Or it's one of the reports, I can't remember, where you can actually see your own new title list. And I'm going to pull that for everyone for the past like 3 months, combine it, and then share it out as a resource for everyone so that you can at least just see, what's really popular, what are folks purchasing, just because it is difficult to see that within your own WMS. So look
Awesome.
for that. It'll probably be the first week of October will be the first one, but I'm gonna host those on Basecamp, but I'll put it in the WISPALS resource library and it'll just be an Excel list. I think that might be the easiest thing for now. It's just going to be a title browse list. Hopefully that will at least be helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, I missed some oh, Ellen, you did find it. Okay. So you said in WorldCat Discovery Local full text URL options.
I think that's right. Again, I'm still like, I don't know. But I think that's what I needed. I just switched the settings.
You did. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh, but no, that can't be
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. No, I had the one of them as never, and I was like, oh, I think I actually want that. We're gonna leave it as always and just make sure it appears for a
Okay,
while. But yeah, thanks, Melody.
perfect. Okay. Val says regarding the help by libraries, worldwide Wisconsin libraries, Fox Valley Technical College, can we access statistics on how often people search worldwide or Wisconsin in addition to our? Oh, that's a really good question. I am not sure if those analytics are saved. I'll need to look into that one. I don't know if that appears in a report anywhere.
I find I mean, that's not the default to be open, but I'm just curious. Um, I'm just curious whether people use that or not, and if they don't, maybe could it be hidden? I don't know. Just curious. Because
Yeah,
we
I'm
can
not sure
always
about
look for
that.
that stuff if they ask us for an interlibrary loan.
Right. Well, are there any other display settings or anything within Discovery or WMS that folks want to talk through?
I don't know that there's a fix for it, but the thing that is still like bugging me constantly, and I'll just voice it in case others are like, yeah, that's been frustrating me too, is I feel like Catherine mentioned like different results doing basic versus advanced, but I'm finding that I'm getting quite a few examples of things where I can search the database directly and find articles, find subject, lots of results. And then I search for the same thing in Discovery with a database that I know is included. Nexus Uni and Credo Reference are the worst offenders that I have found, and just they don't appear. Like the results do not appear. And so I'm like, I don't know what to do about that. I've done kind of title by title, but I'm just curious if others have kind of noticed that and looked at kind of a good solution for it.
We're
I know
seeing
that to be the
similar
case.
things.
Sorry, go ahead, Rachel.
I was just going to say we're experiencing similar things.
By the way, I noticed that when I was doing a Google Scholar search and I clicked on one of the items that was supposed to show up in our catalog, it wasn't a clean, just clicking on it and getting into the catalog and going to the article. I'm wondering, is there something like when we switched from Exlibris to Sierra, we had to convince Google to switch where they were getting our results from? Do we have to do that again with WorldShare?
You do have to turn it on in WorldShare, so make sure that's the case. And I have been told that it can take several weeks. I don't know how many weeks, but several weeks in order for it to refresh.
Mm-hmm. That
And
was
where
my
do we turn that
experience.
on in our can you show us where we do that?
Yep. Oh, okay. It is in, give me 1 second. I'm
Yeah, I
pretty
didn't
sure it's
turn it
under
on at the
WorldCat.
time. I was concentrating on other things.
What was that? I'm sorry.
I did not turn on Google at the time when I was doing the original setup. But I can. I just at the time I was emphasizing other settings.
Well, I remember
Let me
it took me over a year to get them to stop going to SFX.
um, okay, let me see. It's Google. I'm just looking up versus clicking on all of them because I can't remember which one it's in. And Catherine said, okay, so when you do turn it on, Catherine, it's going to take a while. Um, no, it's just analytics.
Although I don't remember now where it is, but I did remember.
That's what that's what I'm looking for. I can't remember where any of these are at. I always have to just click through everything. It's not there. I'm gonna have to look it up just so I'm not clicking on things and I can let you know after the meeting. I'm still getting used to where all the information is located. So Google Scholar. I can see it in my head, but I just can't remember where it's at. Ellen, you are just the best. So it's in, oh, it's in, is it in, it's in WMS. Yeah, it's not in here. Okay, let me just, I've got. And it's under.
I just copied that from the OCLC help article, so I can't verify that it's actually there for the
No,
record.
it is. It is. As soon as I saw that, I was like, that's right, it's in WMS. That's why I'm getting confused. So you just have to go into metadata and under collection manager, it's institution settings here. And then it would be under proxy and authentication. And it's a whole tab and you have to fill that out. But as mentioned, I want to say it was something like 5 weeks is like the max. It's a long time before it will update and refresh. So if you haven't done that, you might still be seeing things from your previous system from Sierra. All right. I know we're at time. I have a couple of things that I need to look up and we'll get back to you all when I share out the recording. Just want to make sure we touch base on all the chat. Well, are there any last minute things anyone wanted to share or anything that you found
Well,
helpful or useful?
it's certainly not picking up our audiobooks, so
Your audiobooks for
in Discovery, if I search in Discovery for our audiobooks, it's not finding them. But if I search in Overdrive, I do.
okay, so you mean Overdrive audiobooks.
Yeah, sorry.
All right. Well, if there is nothing else, thanks for your time this morning. Quick question for you. If, we're gonna just hold space every, once a month. Is there anything in like last month we talked about the patron aspect, how you're promoting and what you're doing for your patrons. Today, of course, we focused on discovery settings. Is there anything that you'd like to focus on for next month? Anything in particular?
Well, Ellen put in chat that there's so many things about this that we could probably do a whole nother meeting on discovery and config. I don't know how other people feel about that, but if there's nothing pressing, maybe doing another one like this.
Okay, let's do that. And I think what I'll do is send out maybe a week in advance, gather questions or specific things you'd like to touch base on, and then that way I can get all the links, all the help stuff ready in advance. So you won't have to just watch me click on things in advance. I mean, we can always, talk about anything during the meeting as well, but I will get I don't know, I'll send out a quick poll or just an email or something on Basecamp to gather those questions or those configuration settings that you'd like to review in advance of that meeting. All right, well, it is 10 o'clock, so I think we will end here. Thanks so much for the discussion, for your thoughts and your questions. Like I said, I'll have to look up a couple of the things that were mentioned. But yeah, let's just keep exploring together and playing around. Thanks so much for joining me this morning. I appreciate you all. Have a good one.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Melody.
Melody. Bye-bye.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.